All right, so let's talk about the state of the art, because we've seen at the very top, and we're talking Yankees, Red Sox, Astros, especially last year, all sorts of things about figuring out sequencing, tipping pitches, stealing signs, all that. And I hear, Joe, it's quite sophisticated these days. What is going on?
Well, I mean, obviously, with every game being on TV, you can study your opponents. So the first place they can get stolen is if the catcher doesn't change the sequences. There's all kind of sequences, ahead, behind, even, first sign after, first sign indicator means whatever you throw. The last pitch is the first sign. If you shake, what is it? So there's all these different sequencing. If you don't change it every 2 or 3 pitches, the runners at second can get it.
Every 2 or 3 pitches, even when guys aren't on?
Because they have an idea what you've used in the past. So, guys don't change. Some guys will use 2 and 4 as fastballs, so you got to figure that out. So once you get beyond that, and you watch what the Yankees are doing, they have a complicated system that's in their hat. They're not looking on how to get a hitter out there. They already know that.
Those are signs in their hat.
There are signs in their hat. In certain situations, the catcher will tap his thing. They'll look at something, and they know what it is. So once you're able to protect the signs, you got to protect other things. You have to protect locations. So let's go to first base.
All right.
Come on.
No, it's right here.
Yeah, so I don't need this. You want this?
Yeah, I do. I want the catcher's mitt.
So if a catcher moves too soon, sometimes it'll come from the first base coach. He might walk back a little bit, take 1 step back on a fast something away. He might go in. He might stand still if they're away, and he might do something if they're in. So you got to worry about him stealing location.
If a hitter is here, you can, as I'm hitting, I can peripheral vision. Is that how it is?
Yes.
Okay.
So here, let me chime in a little bit, because it reminds me of a few instances. I actually had a case where I was an old teammate, and when I figured something was out, I was looking into my catcher. He thought I was, and I was actually looking at the hitter's eyes. And I actually went like this, and I saw the hitter's eyes, and I'm not going to reveal a name. He looked down at his first base coach.
Really?
Yeah. So the next day, because he was a teammate, I said, you do that again, and we're going to put it in your ear. You can't be doing this. There's ways in which that you can negate this stuff. To me, anything outside of the line is flagrant and
that's against the code.
Not gamesmanship.
I think that's the code? I think it's wrong. Like, if you're doing this, someone's got to pay.
Yes.
Right? Someone's going to pay for something.
So what is okay then?
It can come from the dugout.
In between the lines.
So a guy on second base, that's cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
It can come from the dugout. You might have people whistling. You might have people saying certain names.
Yeah.
And it's on location.
Wait a minute. Let me ask you this. Are you okay with that?
No.
You're not okay with the whistling?
Not from the dugout.
The location?
Not from the dugout. No. I think that's off. But what you have to do as a catcher is you have to move late.
Thank you.
So that's what you have to do. But now a lot of guys go down to one knee, and it's different. So now, sometimes you got to worry about the runner on first. He can give location.
Yes.
It's actually easy for him to see.
Right.
He might go like this.
Time out. Can you get me? Can you get me down here? If the whole pinching of the knees. But if I'm showing a sign, literally, forget about location. If I'm not wide enough and covering with my glove and I give one of these, he's got it. To me, that's now in play because he's in the game and he's at first. And if I got a catcher who's dopey enough to go like this and not hide it and pinch, he's got it. And I'm standing here. He's going to give me some kind of sign to say, I got it. Fastball, curveball, whatever.
Okay, let's go to second.
Okay. I can't kneel down anymore. Joe, you should have been back here. My knee's killing me.
So now you got the guy at second. He's trying to relay maybe the sequencing, or he might be relaying location as well. So this guy can do multiple things for you. And some guys are much better than others. They'll somehow let you know if they got the signs or don't have the signs.
How would you do that?
Well, some teams might back up. Some teams might turn their back. Who knows?
So what did you guys use?
Right.
Yeah.
So you got to worry about it. And sometimes you got to worry about just how it's being relayed. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I was part of a system where it came from upstairs to someone in the dugout to the guy on second base. And we eventually caught it. So, like, the first thing that I look at, what I try to watch is I always watch the base runners, watch the coaches. I have someone watch the coaches and base runners. The other thing is you watch the swings. If you see something where they're on everything, you got to say, hey, something's up. The pitcher's either tipping or someone's relaying signs. There's been accusations that comes from cameras in the outfield. There's those 3 cameras, and sometimes one's the home feed and sometimes one's the road feed. And you got to worry about that, right? So you got to worry about.
Wait, here, stay right there. So, but 1 second, because here, I'm going to listen. What Joe is saying, he caught pitcher. when you get a sense, and every single player, I'm going to say pitcher, is paranoid as heck. And A.J. Hinch was right. Everybody thinks everybody's got something. And I for sure thought, as a pitcher, that he's on it, he's got it. But I can change it. If there's even any remote, Joe, do something that would be remotely obvious, fastball, knees, or whatever. And I come up and I check to see both of my guys. And he's doing something that looks consistent. I saw something and I throw a heater. Say he touches his right knee and I throw heater in. And I come back again and he's got another heater in and he does something that I think is similar. This is when, what Joe said, every 3 or 4 pitches, you got to change it. And you have multiple signs and you do it on the fly. I actually did, and I learned it from Dave Stewart, I started doing wipes. So as Joe alluded to when we started this, first sign after 2, last sign, head behind even in the count, we would have multiple signs and I would be able to wipe and change the sign based on adding and subtracting. I won't get into the nuance, but you can do that as well. And you don't need a timeout. You don't need the manager to come out. You don't need a pitching coach to come out. I know they're not allowed to do that as much anymore.
So then you got to worry about the third base coach for left-handed hitters. So, I mean, there's all these people that you have to watch to make sure that everything is protected. And the best thing is, if the pitcher thinks you're stealing, if you got, because now that's in their head instead of executing.
But guess what?
What about in the dugout between video room and all sorts of things, and your whole baseball ops department could be studying stuff and getting something out there? I'd be doing it.
Right.
Of course I'd be doing
because aren't you looking for every advantage to win? Right now, it's even more important.
So that's okay? That's not okay?
As long as they're not relaying it during the game. If they come up with something
instantaneously.
Yeah, well,
of course.
But here, but I know we could talk about this for 30 minutes. But what the Yankees did, nobody on base, which I saw with the guys back in the day, multiple signs. It's the first cue to thinking that. How did you start this, Spygate? That you think that the other team got
versus
something.
Spy. It was like, was that a Cracked magazine?
I don't know.
Yeah,
there's nobody on base.
You're not
you're doing multiple signs. Time out.
Well,
Are you the oldest of the 3 here?
Oh, come on.
Might be. Don't look it.